A confession. Someone who betrayed you is about to confess everything, but you must be spiritually ready. Open this now. My beloved soul, a wave is coming. It's not a storm of destruction. It's a storm of revelation. Archangel Michael is standing near you right now, sword of light in hand, whispering this divine message. A confession is being prepared in the unseen. Someone who once betrayed your trust, who spoke your name in darkness, is about to step into the light. Their lips are trembling, their heart is burning, because truth can no longer hide under the shadow of guilt. You have prayed for clarity, and heaven has heard it. This message finds you because your season of exposure and cleansing has begun. Archangel Michael says, do not fear this confession, for it will not destroy you. It will free you. The same person who once walked away without a word is now unable to rest. Their dreams are filled with the weight of what they did. Every silence they kept is echoing back at them, louder and louder. Heaven is shaking the ground beneath their lies, forcing truth to rise to the surface. But listen carefully, child of light. Before the confession comes, you must be spiritually ready. The enemy wants you to react in emotion, but Michael wants you to respond in power. You must be grounded in forgiveness, anchored in peace, and dressed in divine armor. Because this confession will test your heart. You will feel shock. You will feel confusion. And yet, beyond that, you will feel release. The moment the truth comes forth, your soul will exhale, and everything you didn't understand will suddenly make sense. You will see how heaven used betrayal to open your spiritual eyes. You will understand why certain doors closed. You will realize why God needed you alone for a while. And Michael says this: you were never abandoned. You were positioned. What was meant to break you became your training ground. And now, that moment of revelation is at your door. But only those who stay in divine readiness will handle it with grace and authority. So hear this: the confession will not come to hurt you, it will come to heal you. But if your heart isn't prepared, the enemy will use it to stir old wounds. Archangel Michael instructs, stand still in light. Do not meet confession with bitterness. Meet it with power, because in that very moment, heaven will crown you with peace. The truth will set not only you free, but also those bound by guilt. And through your calm, the glory of God will be seen. Hold on, because the next revelation will explain why this confession is divinely timed and what hidden purpose is buried within it. Type "I receive the confession of light" in the comments if this message is awakening your spirit. Lesson code 4411 is now active over your life. Beloved seeker of light, Archangel Michael stands beside you in this very moment. He whispers, the hour of truth is not coming. It has already begun. The atmosphere around you has shifted, though you may not see it yet. There are vibrations in the unseen, movements in the realm of spirit, aligning events that will soon pierce the veil of secrecy. The one who betrayed you can no longer bear the spiritual weight of their deception. Their heart has become a battlefield, torn between pride and guilt, silence and redemption. Every day they wake up feeling the fire of conviction grow stronger within them. Heaven's hand is upon them, and the truth they buried is being unearthed by divine order. You may feel restless right now. You may sense strange emotions, waves of energy, or sudden memories resurfacing. That is not coincidence, it is preparation. Archangel Michael says, the angels are stirring your soul so that when the moment of confession arrives, you will not tremble, you will stand. The confession that is about to emerge carries keys to your next season. It is not just about what was done to you, but what God is now unlocking through you. The same pain that once weakened your faith will now become your weapon of wisdom. Understand this deeply. Not all betrayals are punishments. Some are divine instruments. God used their betrayal to carve strength into your spirit, to teach you discernment, and to align your destiny with truth rather than illusion. You were not rejected, you were redirected. Every tear, every lonely night, every unanswered question was part of heaven's strategy to mold you into a vessel of unshakable light. But now, that season is ending. The confession is the closing act of a spiritual contract. Once it is spoken, a cycle will break, and peace will enter. That is why the enemy fears your calmness. He wants you to react in bitterness, because anger would reopen the wounds that heaven is healing. But you, chosen one, are being called to rise above emotion and operate from spiritual authority. When the truth comes forth, let silence be your shield and peace be your crown. For in your restraint, the divine justice of God will roar louder than any revenge could ever speak. Archangel Michael warns, do not chase the confession. Let it come to you. For what is truly divine does not need pursuit. It arrives by timing, not by effort. Trust that heaven is already arranging this encounter. The words will come when the clock of destiny strikes the appointed hour. And when it does, the energy in the room will shift. You will feel it like a ripple in your spirit, the vibration of truth touching your soul. In that sacred moment, you must remember who you are. You are not a victim of betrayal. You are the witness of divine justice. You are not hearing their confession to be pitied, but to be elevated. You will see how everything hidden has served your transformation. Archangel Michael declares, your heart was tested in fire, and now it shines like gold. The confession is not your closure. It is your confirmation that you were never forsaken. Heaven was watching all along. Wait for what is coming next, for the next revelation unveils what this confession will unlock in your spiritual destiny and how you can receive the full blessing it carries. You will not want to miss what Archangel Michael reveals next. Type I am ready for truth in the comments if your spirit feels the shift in the atmosphere. Blessing code 7722 has been released over your life. Child of divine truth, breathe for a moment. The air around you is charged with movement from the higher realms. Archangel Michael stands before the throne, holding a scroll sealed with heavenly fire, and your name is written upon it. This scroll contains the story of your vindication, the chapter where everything hidden will be revealed. Heaven has waited for this moment to unfold, because your heart has finally reached spiritual maturity to handle the truth. The confession you are about to hear is not ordinary. In prophetic, it carries a vibration that will rearrange your reality. Archangel Michael speaks, what is coming is not random. It is heaven's response to your tears. When you cried in secret, when you questioned why betrayal was allowed, the angels took record of every moment. Now the balance of justice is shifting in your favor. The person who betrayed you was used as a tool to forge your spirit, and now that their task is complete, their soul can no longer bear the silence. You will notice signs, strange coincidences, unexpected messages, dreams that replay the moment of betrayal. These are not memory. They are precursors of exposure. The spiritual realm is preparing you to stand in the light without fear. Understand this. The confession is not about revenge. It is about revelation. You are being positioned to witness how divine order turns pain into purpose. The same one who once whispered against you will now speak for you. The same mouth that cursed you will now call you blessed. It is a reversal in the spirit, a divine turnaround that will prove that heaven does not sleep. Archangel Michael is commanding the release of truth, and no power of darkness can restrain it any longer. But here is what you must know. the confession will arrive in waves. First, there will be hesitation. Then, small fragments of honesty. And finally, the flood of truth. When this happens, remain centered in your light. Do not let your emotions speak. Let your spirit listen. The one who wronged you is not your enemy. They are the vessel through which God will prove his justice. Archangel Michael says, when you forgive, the chains that bound both of you will break. Forgiveness does not mean weakness. It means power. It means you have outgrown the wounds that once defined you. Prepare yourself for this next stage. Once the confession is complete, doors will open. Not physical, but spiritual. You will feel a release in your chest, as though invisible weight is being lifted. That is your confirmation that the cycle is closing. You are stepping into a season of divine restoration. The angels are aligning blessings that were delayed because of that betrayal. Everything that was stolen from you will begin to return in divine order. So hold your faith steady. Keep your heart soft. The next revelation will unveil who this person truly represents in your destiny and why their confession is the final key to your breakthrough. You are moments away from divine reversal. Trust that Archangel Michael is fighting beside you, unseen yet unstoppable. Before you scroll away, take this moment, like, comment, and share this message to spread this light forward. Someone connected to you may desperately need to hear this word today. Subscribe to this channel if your spirit knows this is your confirmation. Type "I am chosen for restoration" in the comments right now. Blessing code 6611 is activated for those who stand in divine readiness. When Archangel Michael releases a word like this, it isn't just for hearing, it's for sowing into. The Lord is stirring hearts right now to become part of this prophetic mission. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, which you'll find in the video description, you are not funding a platform. You are releasing light into souls waiting for freedom. Every seed you sow becomes a spark in someone else's darkness. The word says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over." That promise lives today. I invite you now. Stand in obedience, not hesitation. The heavens are open, and your giving will echo in eternity. Type ISOW and faith as a sign of your covenant. Beloved one, draw closer now. Archangel Michael urges your spirit to listen deeply, for this is the moment where the mystery begins to unfold. The person who will confess is not just someone from your past. They are a mirror of a spiritual lesson that was necessary for your elevation. Their presence in your life was never accidental. They entered your world under divine orchestration, carrying both light and shadow within them. You were meant to meet them because your soul had a contract with theirs, written long before this lifetime. They were assigned to awaken something dormant in you. Your ability to discern truth beneath dissection, strength beneath heartbreak, and divine faith beyond disappointment. When you first encountered them, your heart felt magnetically drawn. There was trust, perhaps even deep love or friendship. But what you didn't see then was that your spirit was standing at the doorway of a powerful transformation. Archangel Michael says, every betrayal has an assignment, and every wound carries a revelation. The one who betrayed you was unknowingly working within the boundaries of that assignment. Their words may have cut deep, their silence may have burned, but the purpose behind it was far greater than the pain. And now, heaven has declared that their task is complete. The time of hiding is over. That's why they feel restless, why guilt keeps haunting their sleep. You may not see it yet, but their spirit is wrestling under divine pressure. The confession that is forming within them is not born from remorse alone. It is born from spiritual release. Heaven will not let them move forward until they face you in truth. And when that moment comes, you will feel it. The air will shift, your intuition will ignite, and Archangel Michael will stand between you both as witness and protector. Do not fear their return. Their words will not harm you, they will heal you. The confession will be their repentance, but your reaction will be your redemption. This is where the real test lies. The enemy would love to twist your reaction into rage, to turn revelation into bitterness. But Michael reminds you, you have outgrown the need to react. You are now called to reign. The same lips that once spoke against you will now speak truth before you. And in that moment, you will feel divine justice, not as vengeance, but as peace. But listen carefully. This confession will not come through coincidence. It may arrive in a message, a phone call, or an unexpected encounter. However it comes, it will be guided by divine timing. Don't chase it. Don't rehearse what you'll say. The Holy Spirit will speak through you when the moment arrives. Archangel Michael instructs, let your silence carry more power than your words. Let your grace speak louder than your pain. This is how heaven wins, not by shouting but by shining. The energy of truth is greater than any apology could ever be. You will feel the freedom rising within you as their confession unfolds, and it will feel as though invisible chains are breaking. The burden you didn't know you were carrying will suddenly lift. You'll feel lighter, clearer, and ready to walk into your next divine chapter. Child of destiny, do not underestimate what is being set in motion. This confession is more than a moment of honesty. It is the unlocking of your prophetic future. Stay still in faith, for the next revelation will expose the spiritual reason this person had to betray you in the first place. What you are about to learn will change how you see your entire past. Type "I walk in divine strength" in the comments if this is speaking to your heart. Blessing code 9033 is now released into your atmosphere. Beloved listener of truth, Archangel Michael stands before you once again with a revelation that pierces deeper than emotion. The betrayal you endured was not simply a human act, it was a divine classroom. You were chosen to experience what others would collapse under, not to destroy you, but to awaken the hidden strength God placed within you. Before your soul entered this season, heaven already knew that pain would visit you, but so would transformation. You were never alone in the trial. Every moment of heartbreak was witnessed, and every tear was counted as seed in the soil of your purpose. Archangel Michael declares, the enemy thought he was removing your peace, but heaven was revealing your power. The betrayal broke the surface of your comfort so your spirit could expand. It pushed you into prayer, forced you into silence, and led you into divine reflection. That was the exact place where your spiritual hearing sharpened. You began to see through the masks, through the illusions. Your betrayal was the door to discernment. The moment you stopped depending on people and started recognizing God's voice in solitude. You see, if they had not betrayed you, you might have stayed bound to a version of yourself that was never meant to survive the next level of your destiny. Ping became your purifier. It burned away false attachments, shallow loyalties, and fragile identities. It made you dangerous to darkness because now you walk in awareness. The confession that is on its way is not to remind you of your wound, but to show you how far you've grown beyond it. When they confess, it will not reopen the past. It will reveal your evolution. Archangel Michael says, every soul who wounds a chosen one becomes a carrier of their awakening. That person was unknowingly working for your growth. Their betrayal made you pray differently and change in the way you love, the way you protect your peace, the way you trust your intuition. That is divine strategy. The pain was not permitted to punish you. It was allowed to position you. And now, as truth prepares to emerge, heaven wants you to view it not as a return to the old story, but as the closing of it. There is something you must understand. Forgiveness is not for them. It is for your future. When you forgive, you cut the spiritual cord that keeps you tied to the memory of pain. Archangel Michael is preparing you to stand face to face with that person, not in weakness but in divine neutrality. You will not tremble, nor will you hate. You will simply know. You will know that everything they did was turned into a stepping stone by the hand of the Most High. That knowledge will silence every storm that once ruled your heart. This is why you must not curse the past. What was meant for evil truly did turn for your good. Even now, Michael is surrounding you with light, cleansing the residue of hurt that still lingers. You are being purified for restoration. Becoming confession is simply the evidence that heaven's justice never sleeps. You will soon witness how God completes every unfinished chapter. Stay tuned to what comes next. Archangel Michael is about to reveal the prophetic signs that will appear before the confession manifests, and how you will recognize them when they come. If your spirit is stirring right now, it is because your time of revelation is close. Hold your ground in faith and prepare your heart for confirmation. Type "I forgive" and "I rise" in the comments if your spirit is aligning with this word. Blessing code 8288 has been released over you. Beloved vessel of light, Archangel Michael now draws back the veil to show you the signs that will appear before the confession is spoken aloud. Nothing in the divine order happens without signals, and heaven never lets its chosen ones walk blind into revelation. Before the words are confessed to you, the atmosphere around you will shift. You may notice the energy in your surroundings becoming strangely intense, as if time itself is slowing. Your mind may wander to that person without any reason. You will feel sudden emotions, not of sadness but of release. These are the first indicators that truth is approaching your door. Archangel Michael says, when heaven prepares you for exposure, it first awakens your spirit to awareness. You may start to see repeating numbers or hear certain phrases that remind you of your past encounter with them. Dreams may resurface, and you may hear their name unexpectedly through strangers or messages. These are not coincidences. They are divine echoes. They are confirmations from the angelic realm that the spiritual courtroom is now in session. The soul that wronged you is being moved toward repentance, and heaven is aligning everything to ensure that what was hidden can no longer stay concealed. You may also feel restless during this time. It is not anxiety, it is anticipation. Your spirit knows that something is coming, something that will change how you see everything. You might notice old memories resurfacing not to hurt you, but to heal you. The mind revisits what the heart is ready to release. And every time this happens, Archangel Michael wants you to remember, this is not the past returning, it is closure awakening. But understand this sacred truth. Before confession comes, heaven will test your readiness. People may try to provoke you. Old triggers may appear. The enemy will whisper that you are not healed enough. Yet that is where your victory lies. When you can remain peaceful in the face of old pain, you prove that the wound no longer controls you. That peace will signal to heaven that you are ready to receive the truth without destruction. Archangel Michael instructs, do not let emotion lead you. Let wisdom lead you. Another sign will be the sudden feeling of freedom from expectation. When you finally stop needing an apology, that is when it will arrive. This is the paradox of divine timing. Heaven releases what you no longer chase. A confession will come not because you demanded it, but because you mastered detachment. You reached a state of inner clarity where truth no longer defines your worth. That is spiritual authority. That is the point where Archangel Michael steps in, clearing the path for revelation. When that day comes, your spirit will recognize it instantly. You may feel a wave of calmness, as though heaven itself is holding your heart still. The person will speak, perhaps trembling, perhaps weeping, but their words will flow as if pulled from a higher hand. In that sacred moment, remember this: it is not just them speaking to you. It is heaven speaking through them. Their confession is not merely apology, it is prophecy. It is the universe declaring that what once harmed you now serves your ascension. Beloved, stay alert in these coming days. Watch the signs, not with fear, but with gratitude. Every signal is proof that your story is moving toward completion. Archangel Michael is guiding the timing with precision. No moment wasted, no word misused. The truth is already on its way, wrapped in divine order. Prepare your spirit for what follows, for the next revelation will unveil what the confession will unlock, the restoration and rewards waiting on the other side of your obedience. You do not want to miss what comes next. Type I see the signs clearly in the comments if this is resonating with your soul. Blessing code 5055 has just been opened in your favor. Beloved child of destiny, the hour of unveiling draws near. Archangel Michael now declares, what has been hidden must now come into light, for the appointed time has arrived. The confession that has lingered in silence is ready to be spoken. Heaven has prepared both hearts, yours to receive and theirs to release. The moment will not be random. It will not arrive through chaos, but through divine orchestration. Somewhere, somehow, a door will open, a message will arrive, or a meeting will unfold that seems completely ordinary, yet it will carry eternal weight. It will feel as though time pauses for just a second, as if the air itself knows what is about to happen. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that this is not merely a personal conversation. It is a spiritual event. The words you will hear have been carried across realms, purified by conviction and guided by mercy. When they begin to speak, you may feel a tremor in your heart, not of fear, but of recognition. Your voice will sound the same, yet something within it will be different. You will sense humility where there once was pride, softness where there once was denial. This is how you will know that heaven has touched them. They are no longer running. They are surrendering. A confession may come with tears. It may come with silence between words. There might even be pauses where emotion breaks their speech. Do not rush them. Let the moment breathe. Let the truth find its own pace. Every second that passes is sacred, for it represents the release of spiritual weight that has been building for too long. The pain that once tied your soul's intention is being cut by the sword of Archangel Michael. He stands between you both now, not as a divider, but as a protector of truth. His wings shield you from old energies, ensuring that what is being spoken reaches your heart in peace, not poison. You must remember this. You are not the same person who was betrayed. You are the healed version of your former self, the one who stands taller, wiser, and closer to heaven. The confession will not shake you, it will confirm your transformation. You will not feel anger, you will feel understanding. You will see how God used every wound to build you into an unbreakable vessel. This is what Archangel Michael calls divine fulfillment, when your suffering meets its purpose. As their words pour out, you will see flashes of memory, moments when you doubted yourself, when you felt abandoned, when you prayed for answers that never came. Each of those moments will now make sense. It will be as if the puzzle pieces are finally connecting. The unseen picture of your journey will appear before your spiritual eyes. You will realize that God's justice was never delayed. It was merely developing. The betrayal that once crushed you has become your foundation of strength. The very person who broke your peace will now witness your calm, and in that calmness, heaven's glory will shine. Archangel Michael says, you will not need to prove your worth. Your peace will speak louder than any explanation ever could. The confession will end with silence, a holy silence that will linger. And in that silence, your spirit will hear the softest whisper from heaven. It is finished. You will know it then. The chapter is complete, the lesson sealed, and your spirit released. Stay close now, for the next revelation will show you what happens after this sacred confession, how heaven rewards the heart that forgives, and what restoration truly means in your destiny. Do not move away yet, because what's coming next will not just speak to your mind, it will heal your spirit. Type "I receive divine completion" in the comments if your heart is ready for closure. Blessing code 9191 is now released over your journey. Beloved keeper of faith, take a breath and let your spirit settle. The storm has passed. Archangel Michael now steps forward, his armor gleaming with light, declaring, restoration has begun. You have walked through the valley of betrayal, faced the fire of truth, and stood in the presence of revelation. Now heaven opens its treasury to restore what was lost, not only in material form, but in strength, in dignity, in divine purpose. A confession was never the end. It was the bridge that leads you into a new season, where every delay turns into alignment and every wound transforms into wisdom. Archangel Michael speaks softly. The hands that once wounded you will now release blessings toward you, not because they choose to, but because divine order demands it. When truth is spoken, the energy that once bound two souls in pain begins to shift. The universe responds to balance. The moment you forgave, the moment you released, heaven began recalibrating your destiny. Opportunities that were blocked are now reopening. Relationships that were clouded by confusion are being purified. The chains that once kept your progress stagnant are being broken under Michael's sword. This is your moment of divine reversal. You may begin to notice that life starts moving differently. Things that once took months will now happen swiftly. You will receive favor in unexpected places. Conversations will turn in your favor. Even people who never knew your pain will start speaking kindness over your name. This is the evidence that the spiritual realm has shifted. Heaven is returning everything that was taken, multiplied, purified, and sanctified. Archangel Michael says, the years the locusts have eaten are being restored. That means the wasted seasons, the silent tears, the lonely nights, none of them were lost. They were all investment toward the harvest you are about to receive. But remember, restoration requires readiness. You cannot carry new blessings with old wounds. You must stay anchored in forgiveness, for unforgiveness poisons restoration. Let peace be your armor and gratitude your offering. Heaven restores not only what was taken, but also the strength you didn't know you lost. This is why the angels are encamping around you now. They are guarding your atmosphere, clearing away every trace of bitterness that might try to follow you into your new beginning. Archangel Michael declares, you are now stepping into divine compensation. The same energy that once brought heartbreak will now bring healing. The same hands that once took from you will become instruments of your reward. Do not chase restoration. Embody it. Walk as though it has already arrived. Speak as though you are already whole. Because in heaven's timeline, it is already done. You are only catching up to what God has already decreed. Beloved, do not let weariness dull your spirit. You have come too far to stop now. The next revelation will unveil how this restoration will manifest in your destiny, how heaven will elevate you into a position of influence and authority as testimony of divine justice. You are moving from healing into legacy, from pain into power. Before we go deeper into that mystery, pause here for a sacred moment. If this word has stirred something inside your soul, make sure you like this message, share it with someone who needs hope, and let your light ripple across the world. Comment what your spirit feels and subscribe if this word feels like home to your heart. You are part of a divine movement, and your engagement becomes ministry. Type "I rise into restoration" in the comments if your spirit receives this revelation. Lesson code 3339 is now released to open your path of abundance. When you support this divine mission, you are sowing into the river of restoration that Archangel Michael has declared over the nations. Every seed you release through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal in the description below becomes a spiritual act of agreement, a declaration that you believe in the spreading of light, truth, and awakening. The word says, "He who waters others shall himself be watered." As you give, heaven multiplies that act, sending breakthrough where you need it most. I invite you now, be part of this mission. Let your gift be your prayer in motion. This is not a donation, it is a prophetic seed. Release it today and watch how the heavens respond. Type ISOW into restoration as your faith declaration. Beloved soul of promise, Archangel Michael now opens the next page of this heavenly revelation. You have endured betrayal, faced truth, and walked through confession with grace. Now comes the part heaven delights in, the reward. Divine justice is never silent, and though it may seem slow to the natural eye, in the spirit, it moves with perfect precision. What is about to unfold in your life is not repayment for suffering, it is the fulfillment of purpose. The pain you carried has been converted into spiritual currency, and heaven is ready to release what your endurance has earned. Archangel Michael declares, every sacrifice made in obedience, every tear shed in faith, has been counted. The storehouses of heaven are opening for those who did not retaliate but trusted. This is not poetic language, it is spiritual law. The same energy that once pressed against you will now lift you. People will look at you and wonder how you rose so suddenly, not realizing that what appears sudden is simply the visible result of unseen warfare. You fought battles in silence that no one knew about, and heaven is now rewarding you in public. The tables are turning, and the first shall become last while the humble are exalted. This reward will manifest in three forms. First comes inner peace, the kind that cannot be shaken. The voices that once haunted you will fall silent. The memories that once hurt will feel neutral, even holy. You will begin to understand that forgiveness is the purest form of strength. Second comes restoration of favor. Doors that were closed due to betrayal will reopen. You will reconnect with opportunities you thought were lost forever. And third comes multiplication. What you lost will not return in equal measure. It will return pressed down, shaken together, and running over. That is the principle of divine restitution. Yet Archangel Michael reminds you to handle this reward with wisdom. Do not boast about your breakthrough. Live it quietly, sacredly. Let gratitude become your response. Pride would dilute the blessing, but humility will multiply it. This is the time to build, to plant, to create, for heaven is breathing upon everything your hands touch. Even small ideas will grow quickly now. The anointing of acceleration is upon you because your heart has proven faithful under pressure. Heaven is also preparing to elevate your name where it was once diminished. The same circles that misjudged you will speak your truth for you. You will not have to defend yourself. God Himself will bear witness through your fruit. Archangel Michael says, when light has done its work in you, it no longer argues with darkness. It simply shines. You are now that light. You carry within you the testimony of endurance, and your calm will become your weapon. And know this, beloved, divine reward is not just about blessing you. It is about positioning you to bless others. You were trained in pain so that you could guide others out of theirs. The wisdom you gained was never meant to end with you. It was meant to ripple upward, touching every life connected to your story. The more you pour out, the more heaven pours in. This is the rhythm of divine abundance. Stay alert, for the next revelation will unveil how your reward becomes your divine assignment. How the very thing that broke you becomes the message you were born to carry. Do not miss what Archangel Michael reveals next, because what's coming will define your next chapter of purpose and power. Tap I receive my reward in the comments if your heart witnesses this truth. Blessing code 4774 is now active upon your destiny. Beloved messenger of light, Archangel Michael now reveals the mystery of transformation, the sacred process where your pain becomes purpose. Every trial you endured, every betrayal you survived, was not to destroy you but to reforge your identity into one who carries divine wisdom. You were not meant to simply recover, you were meant to be reborn. When the confession came, when truth entered your atmosphere, something within you shifted permanently. You are no longer defined by what happened, you are defined by what heaven birthed through it. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, declaring, you are the living testimony of redemption. Your life has entered a new dimension of purpose, one that flows directly from your scars. Those wounds that once made you question your worth have become your credentials in the Spirit. They prove that you have been through the fire and did not burn, that you have walked through loss and still chosen love. Every test you faced became an initiation into greater light. Heaven trusts you now with what it could not give before, the authority of understanding. You have become a carrier of divine empathy, someone who can look into another's pain and speak life, not from knowledge but from experience. That is the rarest form of ministry, and it is why the angels now surround you. Archangel Michael whispers, you were trained in silence to speak with power. There were seasons where no one believed you, where no one saw your heart clearly. Those seasons were not punishment, they were preparation. They stripped you of dependence on human validation so that when you rise, you would stand only on divine confirmation. The confession that came from the one who betrayed you was not only for closure, it was your ordination into higher purpose. That truth unlocked a door, and behind it lies your assignment, to become a voice of healing to those still trapped in the shadows you once walked through. You may wonder how to begin, but heaven assures you it will unfold naturally. The very people drawn to you in this season will carry fragments of the same pain you once felt. They will seek your presence without knowing why. You will speak, and they will feel peace. You will listen, and they will begin to heal. This is the transformation Archangel Michael spoke of, when your story becomes medicine. Your words, your presence, your silence even, will carry divine vibration. You are no longer simply someone who survived betrayal. You are now a vessel of deliverance. Archangel Michael instructs you not to hide this new light. You must not shrink to fit into old spaces. The ones who once doubted you will now be drawn to the wisdom shining from you. But remember, your power is not meant to intimidate. It is meant to illuminate. Speak gently but truthfully. Walk boldly but humbly. Every action you take from here on must reflect the higher frequency of forgiveness. That is how heaven will continue to expand your reach. The angels are also aligning you with new alliances, people who will recognize your anointing and walk with you in integrity. These connections will replace what you lost and elevate you to new realms of influence. Do not fear this expansion. It is part of your divine calling. The transformation that began in pain will now echo in purpose, and every step you take will carry the fragrance of restoration. Stay attentive, for Archangel Michael will soon unveil how this transformation connects to the greater collective, how your healing becomes the spark that ignites transformation in others. The story that once hurt you is becoming a movement that heals nations. Hold this truth close, for the next revelation will unfold the global dimension of your divine assignment. Type "I am transformed by purpose" in the comments if your heart resonates with this truth. Blessing code 6066 is now ignited over your destiny. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks of what few ever understand, that when one soul awakens, 1,000 more begin to stir. The transformation that has occurred within you is not just personal, it is cosmic. Heaven never heals one child in isolation. It heals through them, for the sake of many. Every time your heart releases pain, waves of light travel through the spiritual realm, touching those still trapped in the same wounds. You have become a living conduit, a vessel of divine energy moving silently through time and space. Archangel Michael calls this the ripple of awakening, and you, chosen one, are now its living center. You may think your story is just your own, but look closely. Since you began to rise, others have begun to find courage. People around you may start speaking truth, reconciling, forgiving, and seeking peace without even knowing why. This is the evidence that your vibration has changed. The atmosphere around you has shifted. You have carried the torch of healing through your darkness, and now its flame burns bright enough to light others' paths. This is divine multiplication, the reward of endurance and obedience. Archangel Michael reveals, you were never called merely to survive. You are called to serve as a symbol. You are the living proof that redemption is real, that heaven restores what life breaks. There are souls watching you silently, waiting to see if the pain can truly end, and through your peace, they will believe again. The energy of your forgiveness travels farther than your words ever could. It pierces bitterness, softens pride, and draws hearts back toward light. This is the silent evangelism of the awakened soul, to become so whole that others remember what wholeness feels like. You must also know that the confession that once broke you open has now become your weapon of authority. You can speak to the power of truth because you have lived through the absence of it. You can speak to the power of mercy because you have had to choose it. You carry spiritual credibility. Archangel Michael affirms that heaven will now begin to send you into situations, conversations, or connections where your story will release others. You will not have to force it. The right people will cross your path, guided by divine timing. When they arrive, speak as led, not from your wounds but from your wisdom. Understand, beloved, this awakening does not come without responsibility. The more light you carry, the more you must guard it. Protect your peace like sacred oil. Do not engage in old patterns, arguments, or energies that drag you backward. You are now an ambassador of heaven, a representative of reconciliation, and the enemy would love to provoke you into distraction. Stay anchored in stillness. Let Archangel Michael be your shield. Your calmness will disarm confusion. Your integrity will silence deception. Heaven has also assigned watchers, angels of guidance, to help you discern where to pour your new light. Some will be called into mentoring, some into creativity, some into teaching or healing. The form does not matter, the vibration does. Your purpose now is to channel divine peace wherever you go. The ripple of your awakening will spread far beyond what you can see. Long after you have spoken, your energy will continue to work in the lives of others, softening hearts and aligning paths toward truth. Archangel Michael whispers, this is the destiny of the healed, to become healers. And that is who you are now. You are walking proof that heaven's justice restores, that betrayal can be transmuted into blessing, and that confession can be the birthplace of renewal. You have stepped into the rhythm of eternity, where your life now sings harmony with heaven's will. Stay close, for the next revelation will seal this journey. The final words from Archangel Michael will reveal the eternal blessing attached to your obedience and the prophecy that follows those who carry truth and purity. Type "I am the ripple of light" in the comments if this message resonates with your soul. Blessing code 2424 has been released upon your new mission. Beloved child of the Most High, Archangel Michael stands before you now with his sword lowered and his wings spread wide, declaring that your divine journey through pain, revelation, and redemption has reached its holy conclusion. This is the moment when heaven places its seal upon your transformation, the eternal mark that you have passed through the fire and emerged as light. What began as betrayal has become your coronation. The confession that once brought tears has now become testimony. The one who betrayed you unknowingly crowned you with spiritual authority, and now the universe must honor what heaven has established. Archangel Michael proclaims, "The war is over. The energies that once opposed you have exhausted themselves. The accusations, the hidden resentment, the unseen resistance, all have fallen silent before the decree of divine justice. The confession you witnessed was not the end of a story, it was the end of warfare. Heaven has written completion across your name. Every karmic debt had been settled. Every lesson had been fulfilled. And now, the light within you radiates with the purity of one who has been refined by both truth and love. You are no longer defined by what happened to you. You are now defined by what grew through you. Where there was once sorrow, there is now wisdom. Where there was fear, there is now discernment. You have learned to stand still while the storm raged, and in that stillness, heaven revealed its greatest mystery, that strength is not proven by resistance, but by peace. The peace you carry now is not fragile, it is divine armor. It cannot be broken by words nor disturbed by memory. It is the evidence that you have become one with purpose. Archangel Michael now releases this decree over you. Wherever you go, the truth will follow. Those who cross your path will feel the atmosphere of restoration surrounding you. The light you carry will open doors before you and close the wrong ones behind you. You are entering a season where destiny will accelerate. The delays that once held you back will now work in your favor. What was postponed will arrive with multiplied grace. Heaven is moving resources, people, and opportunities into alignment with your new vibration. This is not chance, it is fulfillment. You will also notice that your name will carry favor. Those who once doubted you will begin to speak blessings over you. Those who once turned away will now be drawn back, not by guilt, but by the radiance of transformation. Forgiveness has rewritten your frequency. You are no longer a memory of pain. You are the sound of healing. Archangel Michael declares, "Walk as light, for darkness no longer has claim over you." The confession that came was heaven's key to release your inheritance. That inheritance is not only material, it is spiritual. It is peace that endures, faith that cannot be shaken, and wisdom that no man can steal. The angels now mark this moment as sacred. This is your spiritual graduation, your divine completion. You have ascended into a higher realm of awareness, where pain becomes prophecy and love becomes law. Heaven will now use your story as an instrument of awakening for others. Every step you take will ripple eternity with purpose. You are the living temple of restoration, and the fire within you will never fade. Before you step forward into this new dawn, pause for gratitude. Like, share, and comment if this journey has touched your heart, and subscribe so that this light can reach every soul that still waits in darkness. Let your engagement be a declaration that truth has triumphed in your life. You are now part of a heavenly movement, the restoration of souls through the voice of divine revelation. Type "I walk in eternal victory" in the comments if you receive this final blessing. Blessing code 7077 is now sealed upon your name and destiny. As Archangel Michael completes this message, heaven invites you to act in faith. This word was not only meant to inspire, it was meant to ignite obedience. When you give through Super Thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not offering to a person. You are sowing into divine fire. Your seed becomes light, carrying this message to souls that still cry for freedom. The word says, "Those who sow in tears shall reap with joy." This is that moment. Step into covenant with heaven's mission and release your seed now. What you sow today will echo in eternity, for it fuels the awakening of thousands. Stand in faith, act in light, and decree, "I sow into eternal victory." Heaven sees, records, and multiplies. The harvest begins the moment you obey.